So the part where Thanksgiving Studios began to reach out during the summer camps started about 5 years ago, and I came in 4 years ago. So that was the second year when we just went to a school and we went to the poorest place and we started a summer camp for 2 weeks. We planned out the entire schedule for them. We allowed them to live with us, and we just really gave them hope to want to pursue further education, even when it was very difficult for them. And then this part of Thanksgiving Studios kept changing and transforming, and it changed into Thanksgiving Action 3 years ago. And Thanksgiving Action was when we began to work with Chinese college volunteers. China, they have a very standardized system in their education, and whether you're rich or poor, whether you live in a farm or whether you live in the city, you have to take the same test. Everyone has to take the same test, and it's not fair because of the education that's provided. In the city, it's more developed, they have excellent teachers, and they're going to pass the test. But when you go to the village, they're not likely to pass the test because no one in there has reached a very high level of education, and very few people are willing to go to an area that has no running water and with very poor living situations to give them an opportunity to walk out of the big mountains and pass these tests. But I think Thanksgiving Studio does a really good job in bridging that gap, and by bringing educated Americans who have a heart for this cause. They go to these villages and they teach these children English, and they just really provide hope for them, show them that people outside of China care about them and that they believe that they can do more.
I went to China with Thanksgiving Studios 2 summers ago in 2007, and it was the summer after my first year in college. And usually once you enter college, most of the times you want to really use your summer to advance yourself career-wise, so like internships or volunteering or travel. But I think that summer, as my first summer as a college student, I really wanted to serve people and to make an impact that is beyond just myself, and my goals. But going to China, I got to teach children there. But beyond teaching them, because it is just for 2 weeks, it isn't so much the English that you teach them or the curriculum, but it's really the friendship that you build with them. And most of the children there, and we're saying children, but they were actually teenagers. They were like 13, 14, 15, 16, but they're so poor there and they're so malnourished that they look like they're 8 years old. They're so skinny and just frail, and they hold on to your hands. Like right when we got there, their eyes would light up, and you just see a hope in them, an excitement. Even though they had just met us and we were from America, whatever, they were just excited for something new and for this experience of being with them. And I think that's what I remember the most, just their expressions in their eyes of that hope, and that hunger for love.
If I was able to encourage one of these students, to really study hard and really be able to get to high school, they can't even get to college before, if they don't pass the test to go to high school. If they can go to high school and make it out of where they live right now, they call it the mountains. If they don't make it out of the mountains, they're not going to have a life, basically. So I thought about if they were able to make it out of the mountains and, one day even just make a phone call or send an email to me, that'll all be worth my time going over in the summer to encourage them to not just go to school because school is just there to go to, but really go to really expand their, their horizon and to really be able to live out a normal life.
Coming back from my China trip, I really believe that we went there for the specific reason of instilling leadership. I really believe that leadership is a quality that that they really valued and maybe something that they didn't have. It would be almost a need in some cases. And I would say I would break down leadership as a quality where you have a vision, and through your vision you would take action through it. As you know, they are one of the poorest regions in China, and a lot of the times as we go on home visits, they are doing home chores such as cooking for their family, taking care of the farm crops, walking for hours to and from school. And it really is difficult for them to really have vision for their lives. And that's something that we want to give them. And so as our population that we want to reach are the students, we really see that it's the classrooms and it's the schools where we can really have a base, a common ground to really meet them.
So it was the last day in China, and we were there for 3 weeks already, and we just finished our summer camp, and all the teachers, all the government officials, they wanted to meet with us in the meeting room. So we said goodbye to the students, and we're all crying, and we didn't want to leave, but we went to the meeting anyway. And there in the meeting, the government officials were just giving us awards and stuff like that, and just kind of reviewing and stuff, and seeing what changes that we made. And it was pretty long, and then in the windows of the meeting room we can see the kids just waiting and stuff, and even at the door they're kind of like almost inside our room, and so we were just watching them. We were just and the government officials were like, come on, go outside. And after finally the government officials were like, okay, we'll postpone the meeting, we'll talk about it later. So we went outside, and all of the kids started grabbing us, and they took us out, and all the kids didn't even leave yet. They made a huge circle on the platform, and with their backpacks they spelled out love in English, and it just really showed us how much they do love us. And we're trying to get them to go home, and we were saying that if they really love us, then they'll go home. And they're just crying, they're like, no, we don't want you to leave, and stuff like that. And it was just really touching how much 3 weeks can do in just building relationships with them.
At the end of the program we have a speech contest, and the topic was, what is love? And for a lot of them, they talked about us and the people who went over to teach them, even though it was just for 2 weeks, and even though we only got to spend that little time with them, it meant so much to them, and how they really saw love in us going over and us spending time with them. And yeah, I think a lot of times when we grow up, we learn, community service, and serve your community, and that always ends up coming in the form of picking up trash or doing this or that. I think what Thanksgiving Studios is different in that we go for the people, we go to build relationships with them, and we go to teach not just English, but to teach and mold their character, and that they can have hope. And we hope that whatever they learn in the brief time that we are there, that is what is lasting, and that is what they'll carry on. And I think when you pass on that spirit, they carry it forward, and they exercise it when they gain the means to. And so that's why I believe and I fully support Thanksgiving Action.